What if I told you the most powerful plant growth promoters were actually invisible, and they are little tiny microbes called Azospirillum? Hi, I'm Lauren Kane, and I'm the founder of Elm Dirt, and I am going to talk to you today about one of my favorite soil microbes called Azospirillum. This is a really cool one. It's in our plant juice. But when we talk about little soil microbes being like master gardeners, Azospirillum is one of those. It is a super cool soil microbe that it helps promote plant growth. Not only does it pull nitrogen out of the air and turn it into ammonia that plants can use, which plants can't use the nitrogen in air, but our air is made up mostly of nitrogen. So Azospirillum, what it does is it talks to the plants, and when the plants need nitrogen, it's going to pull it out of the air and just act like a little fertilizer plant right at your plant roots and supply them with any nitrogen that they need. Isn't that great? Azospirillum is also really cool because of its plant growth promotion. So it produces hormones that are little tiny plant vitamins, except they're hormones, and it tells the plant to grow and get stronger, and it does it in a healthy way that actually promotes healthy plant growth. So unlike synthetic fertilizers that up to 40 to 60% wash off when you get a rainstorm, when you water, it's not there at your plant roots. Azospirillum's there. It's stuck to your plant roots. It's got hormones that lock it in place. But the synthetic fertilizer kind of acts like junk food. It's going to help get the nutrients they need to keep them going, the plants going, but it's addictive. Plants forget the healthy ways to grow. They just take the nitrogen, the phosphorus, potassium that the synthetic fertilizer supplies it, and that's all it does, is it uses those mechanisms. When you add in a soil microbe like Azospirillum, the plants then remember the correct way to do things, and so it'll pull in the micronutrients like the calciums, the magnesiums, the things that plants need in smaller quantities that's in our soil already. It just needs to be unlocked with microbes, and it supplies the plants as they need it. And so the health of the plant is overall good because it's going to focus on root growth first and get really healthy roots. And then it's going to start working on everything above the soil. And it's got everything it needs to produce very healthy whole plant health. And so that's part of what it does. And the other thing it does is because it's focusing on full plant health, means it's going to be more drought tolerant, and it can help the plants survive better if you have environmental stresses. Here, we might go and get rain every day for a week in the summer, and then the next week or two, we won't have rain. And so it starts to dry out, and it gets even more dry, and then it's really dependent on me watering them. But when you use a synthetic fertilizer, especially a salt-based one, you need up to 25% more water to just keep your plants alive than working with a microbe-based fertilizer like we do. And that can make your job so much easier. Not to mention that it's down there in the soil doing the work for you and making your life easier. So they don't just work alone. All the microbes in the soil, the bacteria, the fungi, everything in there is all working together to help the plants themselves. And so they form networks, and they're kind of like little underground cities. You've heard maybe of mycorrhizal fungi, which is a big hot topic. Mycorrhizal fungi is just any fungi that lives underground and creates networks that connect the plants together. And so you may have heard that plants can talk through these networks, but the other thing that happens is it transfers nutrients and water across these networks. And it's not just the fungi themselves, they form relationships with the bacteria. And the fungi acts more like the roadway that everything's being transported across, the messages between plants, the nutrients themselves, even the water. And the fungi can reach deeper down under soil than the plant roots themselves. So, in a drought situation, that fungi is really important because it can reach water supplies that are very deep underground. And then it can also reach miles across even whole states to communicate when there's pests, when there's diseases, and help boost the immune systems of the plants, because plants have immune systems too. And then some of the bacteria then go into the fungi when they're at the plant roots, and the plant's like, hey, I need this specific thing, or I need more water, or I need more of this nutrients. The bacteria are actually the ones that are going into the fungi and getting that nutrient or whatever the plant is requesting and bringing it to the plant. And so you can actually get 20 to 30 times more nutrient uptake by using microbes in your soil and creating a healthy ecosystem in your soil. And what that means, if your plant can uptake 20 to 30 times more nutrients, it means your plants are going to be healthier and fruit and vegetables that they are producing are going to be healthier. And so we've seen studies come out of the University of Washington that show that food grown regeneratively actually is more nutrient dense than food grown with traditional synthetic fertilizer. And the reason for that is because it's increasing the nutrients that the plants uptake, which is not just the main three, the nitrogen, the phosphorus, and potassium, which are extremely important for plant growth, but it's everything else, the calciums, the magnesium, the manganese, and there's a whole bunch more that the microbes in the soil are helping to bring up into the plant. And if the plant's uptaking more, they can put more into its fruits and vegetables, and you get healthier food overall. Now, I know you're growing your vegetable garden to make sure that you're eating healthy and you're knowing what you're putting on your plants. And so this becomes a really important thing, because if you're giving your plants the best nutrients it can get, as well as microbes in its soil, your plants are going to give you healthier food. And if you're only supplying them with synthetic fertilizer, you're missing out, because they only supply 3 different nutrients and they don't help with the uptake of other nutrients. In fact, they can even cause them to be locked out. In a different video, I talked a little bit about the calcium lockout that happens with tomato plants, because everybody says you're supposed to add calcium to your tomato plants before you start to plant them, whether that's eggshells under the tomato plant or a special calcium fertilizer. The thing is, if you add too much calcium, you can actually cause calcium lockout, where you have too much calcium and the plant has trouble absorbing other things that are linked to it, like magnesium. Just like in the human body, calcium and magnesium are partners, and so they get uptaken together. You need both of them to work the system, so they both work. And that's same in plants. But if you have too much calcium in your soil, the plants don't function right, and it locks out the magnesium, and then that pathway gets disrupted, so the plants can't actually function the way they would if they had the proper amount of calcium. And so you actually see the same sort of deficiencies if you have calcium lockout going on as if you didn't have enough calcium in the first place. And so this is where soil science and soil microbes can really help you out. You do not have to be a scientist to grow in your garden and not cause nutrient lockout or have enough nutrients. That's where soil microbes come into play. They act like little master gardeners in your soil, helping to maintain the soil. They supply hormones, they supply all sorts of things for your plants, and they actually talk the same language as the plants. So you don't have to worry about what are you missing. Now, it's helpful that you can identify issues with your plants where you might need to intervene or add more water or whatever it ends up being. So there's still a little bit you have to do, but microbes can really make your job easier. It also means you don't have to buy 2,000 different things from the gardening store to make this happen. We make it easy for you. If you want to know more about Elm Dirt and what we do with microbe-based fertilizers, check it out. Our Azospirillum is in our plant juice. There are over 250 different types of species of microbes in our plant juice alone. All of our products are living, and so there's all sorts of hosts of benefits out there. And I'm going to be talking more about soil science, about other microbes, as well as just general plant care. Because the thing is, when we're growing a garden, we want to grow easier. We have busy lives. We have 10,000 other things going on. I get it. I'm a mom. I run my own business, and I have 10,000 other things that I need to do besides really pay attention to my garden. And so being able to grow easier is really important, and still be able to enjoy your garden and not feel like it's an overburdening chore. And so follow along for more tips on how you can grow easier, how our products help you grow easier, and what else is out there besides conventional wisdom. So press subscribe now. I want to see your comments below as to what your thoughts are on soil microbes, what you're doing for soil health in your garden, and also what do you want to know more about? I would love to create personal content just for you. So subscribe, follow me, comment below, reach out on all the social medias at Elm Dirt, and let me know that you're out there, that you're gardening, and I want to see all those happy smiles in your garden.